Hello and welcome to my booze-free vlogs. It is a special vlog this particular week because I am now officially into June. That means I've done 5 full months into the 6th. By the end of this month, I will be halfway through. Good news, I really feel like I have turned a corner. I think finally, after 5 months of being really annoyed that I'm not drinking, I finally accepted it. Yes, I'm sorry, but well done, Julia. It took me 5 months, almost half of the time that I'm doing it, just to accept that I'm not drinking. I'm not having this constant internal monologue the whole time about, oh, what am I missing out on? I'm missing out on this. It doesn't... My head's not thinking that way now. It's just kind of thinking, this is how things are. I was finding it quite, not difficult in that I thought that I was going to go out and drink, but just like it was really mentally annoying and a constant sort of thing of, why are you doing this? You've just made like a really boring year for yourself. While some might argue that, it's actually spurred me on to have a better year than I think I've had in a really long time. That's weird. It's not just because of the drinking. It's not that's changed, that's really changed anything, but it's my attitude to life. Because I don't have drinking to fall back on, which is just this easy way of running your social life, and you go to a different bar, different place, go here, go there, and it's easy, and that's what you do because whatever you do is funny because everyone's drunk and it's brilliant. I've had to get creative, and as if you've been following all the vlogs, I've been really putting some effort for once into my social life instead of just turning up and drinking. And I've had some really fun days out, like stuff that I can talk about and get passionate about, and it's really sort of reignited my passion for life. I know I've talked a little bit before, very briefly, about suffering and living with depression and stuff like that, and you do go through so many periods where, oh my god, you just do not give a shit about anything, and I mean anything. You're like dead inside and nothing can kind of wake you from that slumber. And I feel, and I don't mean to imply that drinking's caused me depression, it's just, I guess this has just given me the impetus and a bit of a kick off the arse, rather than sitting around being miserable, to go and actually sort of engage in life again and really engage instead of... Let's be honest, if you are suffering from depression and you drink, it doesn't help at all. You feel worse the next day, you feel terrible for the next few days. It doesn't really solve anything at all. You never really get better while you're drinking. Well, you do get better, but it just doesn't really help. It doesn't really help matters, because how you feel is always there when you wake up in the morning. And what I found a lot of the time, and one of the reasons why I thought stopping drinking would be a really good idea, is that last year I had a few moments where I just thought, what am I doing? I'm getting so obliterated. And, you know, a lot of the time I'm going out with people and it's like game stuff, video game stuff, and it's social as well as it's sort of being work. These are your peers. And I'm going out and getting absolutely wrecked in front of them. And I just think to myself, it's not really... These are people who might one day give me a job somewhere. I don't want to just be seen as like this party girl. And it wasn't happening all the time. There was just like a few occasions last year where I just... It's getting a little bit, you know, close to the edge, really. And that comes from depression. That really does. That need to... Oh, I've just turned up somewhere. I kind of feel a bit rubbish about myself. Well, not about myself, I just feel rubbish in general. I'll have a drink. Oh, I don't feel so rubbish. That's nice. This drink thing's good. Let's have another one of those. I want to keep feeling nice. I don't want to feel terrible like I've been feeling terrible for all these weeks. I'll just keep drinking so that feeling won't come back, and you end up getting yourself absolutely obliterated. And I know I'm doing it, and it comes from a long history of medicating myself with drink when I feel that way. And I just want to get to such a point where I'm not there anymore. You know, this isn't all the time. I'm not like a weekend constant binge drinker. But sometimes when I go out, that's what will be in my head. I just wanted to get obliterated. I didn't want to be me. I didn't want to worry about any of the things that I worry about in my life. I didn't want any of that. And I didn't care about the consequences. And that comes from there being something wrong with me. That comes from depression. That comes from not wanting to feel and to be numb to everything. Which isn't, it's just not, you're never dealing with anything. You're never really coping with anything. You just think that you are. In the same way, like if you self-medicate through TV or films or video games and you hide yourself away from the world, you feel good for that moment. My dad spent his entire life watching literally ITV3, like Poirot. It's ridiculous. Like, he doesn't address his depression. He just sits and watches TV, and that's how he does it, and he feels okay. But I find the more TV I watch and the more stuff the more I disengage with life, the worse I feel. And the more I take charge and the more I take responsibility of my own life and take control of the things I can take control of, which, to be honest, let's be honest, there's not a huge amount, but there are some things, the better you feel. The less I feel depressed. So yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing really, really good. I feel really clear. I feel really like my moods have just been really steady. Normally I really fluctuate a lot between happy and sad very quickly. And I find it very hard to stay motivated. And it's not just down to not drinking. I'm like in a really good place with work at the moment. Working for SBTV is like the greatest thing ever. I'm someone who really needs to feel motivated because it takes so much to motivate myself and pick myself up and pull my socks up when I feel depressed. And I need to have... It's not even about people like taking your ideas and running with them. It's just feeling that you're part of something and someone's actually listening to you. You know, I've worked in places before where it's so negative. Everything's always no, and you come up with idea after idea, and what about this and what about that, and it's no, no, no. And I'd go through these weird patterns of being like, yeah, let's do this. Oh, we can't do anything. Okay, all right, I won't bother. And then I get really depressed, and then I'd have to pick myself up again and go, oh, let's do all these things. Oh, it's just like a constant cycle of sort of being motivated and being utterly unmotivated. You know, like lying in bed, just not wanting to get out of bed. So yeah, working for SB is just really different. You know, it's different to working in TV because it's online, it's very young. It's, people think about work in a different way. There isn't like this bullshit hierarchy there that's just made to make you feel like crap, like you're worthless and that what you bring to the table isn't useful. You don't have any particular skill that a million other people don't have, and anyone feeling like that in their job is just gonna... How could you not be depressed at the end of it, really? You need to feel like someone gives a crap, you know, just a little bit, 10%, 5%. I have really low standards for work now after all these years. Yes, anyway, I'm in a really, really good place. I'm feeling really happy. It's a lot of things that kind of come together. I don't think it's just the not drinking, but I think this has kind of just pushed me in the right way to look at my life and to, you know, like think about what I want and think about the sort of life I want to have. I'm so pleased that I've turned this corner and everything now just feels so good. It's very unusual, I tend to find, in life where you're aware that you're happy at the time that you're happy. It's always normally afterwards you're like, oh, I was really happy then. And I'm too acutely aware of how I feel all the time, like constantly analysing it from minute to minute. So I'm very aware that I'm very happy at the moment. Yeah. I feel like I've reached a really good place. So anyway, I'm just going to keep saying the same thing over and over again, but just in different ways, so we need to just stop. Is really happy Julia way more annoying than depressed Julia? I'm not really sure. I feel like I just annoy people however I feel. Maybe that's just my own caffeine-induced paranoia. Next year I'll give up caffeine and it'll be way worse. Thank you. I mean, genuinely, really, really thank you so much for all your comments and all your messages, and just for being there and being really, really supportive. This has been really quite tricky, and I don't think I could do it without you guys, so thank you very much. I really do appreciate it.